That, folks, Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilliga here with yet another edition of Preparing the Pine Belt, where we're talking about hurricane season and how you can protect yourself and your family between the beginning of June all the way through the end of November. Well, what to do? Well, first off, you need to have a plan going into the season. Determine an evacuation route if you need one, depending on where you're living. Find shelters along the routes, and also find pet-friendly hotels if you have a pet. A lot of times shelters won't take pets and certain hotels won't, so it's very important that you check into those now before something is to happen. You also want to prepare your house before the storm. Should a hurricane or tropical system be headed our direction, you're going to want to board up the windows, you're going to want to trim the trees and the shrubs from around the house. You're going to want to clean out the clogged gutters and downspouts. You're also going to want to review your insurance policy. And actually, that bottom one is something you should probably be doing now before the season really gets going and before there's anything actually out there spinning up and moving toward you. Is review that insurance policy now, chat with the folks, whoever's taking care of your homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance, and make sure that you're covered for a tropical system. In your disaster kit, that's a big one around here, and I'll tell you folks, if you're brand new to the area and you've been here, you moved here, let's say in the last 5 or 8 or even 10 years, find somebody that you work with, find somebody that you go to church with, find a neighbor, find somebody who has lived through a powerful hurricane in this area, whether it's Katrina, it's Frederick, all the way back to, let's say, Camille, and talk to them about what it was like during and after those storms, because building a disaster kit is very important around here, but there are going to be certain things that I've listed here that are really important, but other things that I may not list that your friends, neighbors, people you go to church with, whatever, may say, oh yeah, but living through that, we needed X, Y, or Z. But what you really definitely need, you got to have water. That's 1 gallon of water per person per day. It is hot here in the summer, so it's very important that you've got enough water to stay hydrated. Oftentimes they say plan on being without power, water, sewer, etc. for 3 days. There is some discussion within the meteorological community that they may need to stretch that out to 5 or even 7 days of having supplies. Make sure you've got food. Again, a 3-day supply, that's what they say now, but there are some rumblings that are saying now maybe 5 or 7 days, given what's happened the last couple of years. A flashlight, battery operated, or even better, solar powered. They make those now, and a first aid kit is very important. Wet wipes and moist towelettes, just a way to clean your hands off or to clean stuff off and get it clean without running water. Make sure you got tools, just regular old tools, wrenches, pliers, screwdrivers, hammers. You never know what's going to happen around the house during a storm. You want to be able to fix it, or at least attempt to put a Band-Aid on it, so to speak. And make sure you got paper cups, plates, paper towels, plastic utensils, because your regular cutlery and plates, you know, it's going to be tougher to clean those. It's easy to just throw away or burn some paper cups and plates and everything else to kind of clean up. Make sure you got a manual can opener. Obviously, we may be without power for some time. You're going to want just regular old maps. Roll the maps and don't fold them, but you want just regular old maps of the area just in case you got to get up and around and you don't remember exactly how to get somewhere. Good regular old maps are here to help. Cell phones and chargers, make sure you got them together. And I will say, you know, they make these solar-powered little charger deals now where you can just leave them outside and it's like a power brick and it'll charge it up, and then you can charge your phones off of those. That may not be a bad idea. Some blankets and sleeping bags. I know it's hot in the summer, but it's always important to have those. Have cash on hand, because if we do lose power, the ATMs aren't going to work. And then again, special items for the kids, folks that are a little bit older, your pets, or people that just need specialized medications and stuff like that. Now, during the storm, make sure you got your fridge turned on and your freezer turned all the way to cold, just in case you are to lose power. You want that food to stay as long as it can. You're going to want to turn off the natural gas or propane to the house, just in case a tree is to come up, knock something over, you're to lose power, and then the gas line maybe has a leak in it, power was restored. You don't want to deal with stuff like that. You're going to want to unplug those small appliances, you know, toasters, blenders, and stuff like that. Make sure that you fill your bathtub up with water and water in containers just in case, again, if it's a category 2, 3, 4, or 5, heaven forbid, you may be without running water for a while. Poor folks in Katrina around here, Hurricane Michael most recently, even Harvey, Irma, and Maria, people were without water for weeks. And then you're going to want to take shelter during the storm in the interior section of your house on the bottom floor. You almost want to treat it like a tornado warning. I don't think everyone needs to be crammed into the bathroom, but you're going to want to be on the interior, maybe near an interior closet or a bathroom, something like that, so that, again, heaven forbid a tree is to come down, that you can duck in there pretty quickly and protect yourself from what's happening outside. Now, once the storm is over, wait to return to your area. If you evacuated, make sure you get the okay from folks that it is actually safe to return. A lot of times in these major hurricanes, more deaths and injuries occur from people returning to the area before it's deemed safe, or even when it is deemed safe and doing things, you know, they don't know how to work a chainsaw, you know, they're up on a roof and they slip and fall because they aren't paying close enough attention. It's hot, folks. I mean, after a hurricane, it is going to be hot and humid, and you're not going to have AC to cool off. And you know, it happens. People slip and fall because they get tired, and maybe they're not paying as close attention as they should, but just wait till it's safe to return. Watch for closed roads and weakened bridges. That's very important, especially around here, because with tropical systems, we tend to get a lot of water out of them and a lot of flooding. You're going to want to check for damage in and around your home when you do get back, if you did evacuate, or if you took shelter inside. Once the storm is left, you're going to want to make a perimeter sweep of the house. Make sure you don't walk near any downed power lines if you do see them. You're going to want to use a flashlight and not a candle or open flame. Again, this goes back to the natural gas or the propane. No need to have any candles inside if your house uses natural gas, because you just never know. You can turn it off all you want, but if there's a gas leak down the pipe, you don't want to end up in that kind of a situation. Make sure you got proper shoes nearby and you were wearing those, and do not use tap water until it is deemed safe. And again, this is another edition of Preparing the Pine Belt. Folks, we are talking about hurricane season and how you can prepare.